Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by... I was a little distracted there at the beginning of the podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm John.
I'm Blaine.
And I'm Gus. I have no idea what you're talking about. I want to
You were
find out
talking
more
about some
that
Mortal
later.
Kombat girl that climax is higher and higher.
No, so when we were coming in, the floor manager was counting down. There were 5, 4, 3, 2. They were getting louder and louder. And there's a mod in Counter-Strike, like CSGO and Source, where...
Oh, Counter-Strike.
Yeah, did I say Mortal Kombat?
You said Mortal Kombat.
No, like every time they'd be like,
Right?
it would be
You
like a
said Mortal
sexy
Kombat.
lady doing like sexy noises whenever you got a kill. So she'd be like, double kill, triple kill. And she'd like build up an orgasmic tone.
Did you ever jerk off to that?
No, but there were some, you know, with the sprays in Counter-Strike?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes people lay down like some porn sprays, and I was just a kid, and I'd be like, oh, and it's just like, look at that. So there's just like this guy with the gun staring at a...
And then, of course, the person who drops the spray is camping right around the corner waiting for precisely that to happen.
Opt me.
So you're not a kid anymore. I hate to bring it up.
Wait, how old are you now?
28. Yeah.
So I didn't realize that it was your birthday until this morning, you know, some social media
No,
platform.
you play that off as
Let me know.
that this was his gift that you were giving him, is to be on the show.
Oh, yeah, oh, no, that was totally it. No, but in reality, the real gift is just off camera, somewhere over there.
What did we get off camera?
Is it Wes? Is he a stripper?
The broadcast boys.
Oh, look
Put something together for me.
Aw, is that a...
This is your birthday.
I'm turning 3.
It's 3. What did they put it into?
It's a birthday cake flavored protein bar.
Yes!
Hey, look at this.
We're not singing for you.
No.
Do I blow it out?
No.
Got my wish. Okay.
Wait, as in you got your wish, or you know what wish you're going to
I
wish
thought
for?
of my wish. I know what my
Do
wish
we have
is.
gifts?
Yeah, and masks.
And stuff. Yeah. So you can be Chewbacca, one of those guys with the red.
What were they called?
Praetorian Guards.
That's a good
Stormtrooper.
nerd.
Phasma.
Is that Ray?
Ray.
Praetorian? I can't
So yeah,
remember.
here you go.
Which one do you
Knock
want to
yourself
be?
out.
Chewie.
You want to be Chewie?
Oh, we're going to...
There's noisemakers. Nope, they're not noisemakers. They're just party favors.
Just gonna listen
Insert
real
noise
close.
here.
Someone, Peter Hayes, insert a noise, quick.
But he does gifts.
Save me.
He doesn't do noise.
No, he needs to, Peter, you need to do a noise, but it's the orgasm lady from Counter-Strike. Double
Let me give you a few.
Wait, it doesn't. No, it isn't a noise thing. It's just a tube.
And okay, so they also got you a couple other things here. If you want to pass them down for Blaine.
One of these mine?
No.
Damn it.
See, when you came in, it was your birthday. You brought gifts for everyone.
I did. Where's my gifts?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, and I was like, no, I don't want to copy John's shitty thing. All right.
I'm a very hairy stormtrooper.
Reporting for duty, sir.
The Winter Stormtrooper. The ultimate mashup.
This
I
one
like
seems
that.
to have calories on it, so...
So well, yeah, we hope you liked the
The
birthday cake protein
Did you
bar.
pull out your box?
There's
Because you're
three more of
doubling
them
down on
there.
the protein shakes. Okay, nice. Let's see.
Okay, you've got a picture of birthday cake on it.
7 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbohydrates, protein is 20 grams.
How much sugar?
Sugar alcohol, 5 grams.
Okay, it's not good.
you get
total
drunk on
sugar's
that.
1 gram. Yeah.
Sugar alcohol counts.
And then one other thing there.
What else you get?
Who wrapped these?
I don't know.
Aw, is this Star Wars underwear? What is this?
It's
smallish
a
shirt.
large child
it on
shirt.
right now.
All right.
Yeah,
Put it
Eric's shouting that it's a
on.
large
be right back.
child shirt.
Right now. I want to see how much circulation that is going to cut off.
I like the Battlestar Galactica style punch in there from the camera. The little shaky and then boom.
Put on your shirt. Can you put it on? Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
It's sprayed on. It's literally just paint.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's a perfect fit.
It's so good.
I'm going to wear this to Disney.
Yeah, we're going to Orlando in a couple weekends.
Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah.
Oh, you're going too?
I'm going there too.
Wait, did we... So, okay, this is going to go one of two directions. You're going to either get mad at us for not inviting you, or if we'd invited you, you would have been like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. We did invite him to Disney, didn't we?
I don't think so.
No. I said we're going to Disney, and I asked if you were down, and you're like, no.
No.
I'm pretty
Prove
sure
it to
because you
me.
said you were leaving. That's why you guys are coming in
Yeah,
and
you
doing
guys
a
are
thing.
being in the
Oh,
first
okay.
part.
A day
and then
early.
We're staying a day after
gotcha.
and going to go to Disneyland.
Your excuse makes sense.
Disney
now.
World.
This is UV protection.
But then we're going. What's the Star Wars thing we're going this Sunday night?
We're going to Galactic Nights. Is that what it's called, Wes? Which I don't. How
what
long
is
have they been
that?
doing that for?
It's a Star Wars party.
2 years.
What is that?
It's a Star Wars party at like Disney. It's at the Disneyland Hollywood Studios.
They like
Disney
keep it
World,
open
Hollywood,
late,
whatever,
and I think they have like a bunch of Star Wars related shit.
yeah,
You have like a rave with lightsabers and shit.
That'd be
probably.
cool.
You're probably not far off from the truth.
We're gonna do like casual Star Wars cosplay / just normal clothes.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna do like casual Han Solo.
And I'm gonna steal Tony Simonetta's outfit he made for his Star Wars marathon.
Jessica Negri retweeted like a male sexy Kylo Ren drawing.
Yes.
You should dress up like that.
Get Jessica's outfit she wore in her photo, and you wear it, and we'd have to modify it because I don't think it would cover junk.
No, she retweeted another drawing that was like a different interpretation. This one.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
that's showing off a lot.
But yeah, we get to go do that.
Yeah.
Have you been to MegaCon before?
No. So we went to MegaCon a couple of times when I hope I sent that image to the right person.
I say that to myself all the time.
Hopefully. When Rooster Teeth went to MegaCon a couple times years ago when we were first starting out, but we would cycle through events, and MegaCon never came up in like the rotation of events that I went to.
You just didn't go.
Right. I would go to other Florida events, but
Right.
other people would go to MegaCon and I wouldn't go to it.
I'm just really glad that we finally get to all four of us best friends go to MegaCon together. You know,
That's how you should.
Jesus. That's like
up.
Borat meets Kylo Ren.
no, he wasn't Borat. It
My
was, oh yeah, that was the
My
Borat suit.
lightsaber.
Yeah. So I've never been. I'm interested to
What's that?
to see it.
There's a funny tweet that was out there that was recently I read that it was like the dialogue kind of tweets where it's like a guy talking to his like therapist.
Oh.
Like, if I am, I was told that if I impersonate Borat anymore, then I will get a divorce. And the therapist goes, "By who?"
He's like
Just
holds breath.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna change it in my other shirt because this one's.
Are you able to breathe? If you bend over, does it just ride up?
I wonder. I don't think I can rip out of it.
It's meshy.
Yeah, it's a little too.
But
that-
MegaCon's like huge, right? It's like a massive.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's going.
Oh, really?
I hope we get to meet him.
Speaking of Negri, I think Jessica's gonna be there as well.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah! Can they come to Disney with us? Can I have a Ryan
I
for my
still haven't been
birthday?
asked.
I'd like a Ryan for my birthday. You can have him every other weekend.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've done
Missed the cut broadcast.
an event in Florida. So a convention in Florida. So I'm excited to
I will
to
not
check
be
it out.
putting this on. I don't like my body. Goodbye.
You've been climbing real good though,
I've been climbing.
and lifting real good.
I've been climbing and lifting.
Um,
As I talk to my friend behind a chair. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. Someday I will like me. Someday.
You know, you should like you.
I know I should.
I like me, and look at this. I mean,
know.
I got jiggles.
I wish I had your body confidence. Because no matter you just always just no matter what, don't care. And I appreciate that.
once you reach the level of like, I'm good here, I can maintain this, or I can sink back down into like, gaining some pounds, but I know that I can at least reach back up to this point.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at, and that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I'm like, well, people can be like, oh, fucking Blaine. Blah. But like, right now, I feel like I'm like kind of on the
You're
less.
trying- now you're worried.
I'm not cut right now. I'm not cutting right now, and
You're a
I'm
little
just
softer.
eating.
You're a little softer.
Yeah, and I'm eating whatever, and that's fine. And I feel like I look okay, and
Yeah.
like that's okay. But like,
Oh, you
it's-
think you look okay?
yeah, but like,
nice.
well, no, what I'm saying is like,
I should not be making those kind of jokes because that's me perpetuating a mental state that I deal with as well. Where constantly, like, I have one moment out of every 100 moments where I'm like, I like me. And then the rest of the time, I'm like, I'm shit. That's all it is. So I really should not be saying things like that to you.
But yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's like
I posted a really good picture of your butt today.
Yeah, I saw that. But once you reach that level where it's like maintenance, and you're just gonna be happy. You're gonna enjoy it. I hope. Yeah.
The point where I feel like I would get to that point is if I could finally someday magically get rid of my love handles. I've had love handles my entire life, and no matter how much I have lost here and have gotten a flatter stomach, or no matter how much my chest has grown or anything like that, I still have this weird silhouette where it just goes boop, and then it goes down no matter what. And I'm like, just something, get rid of those, because everything else is getting on the train. Everything else is getting on the train of getting into shape. Those are like, no, fuck you, we stay.
Yeah, it's their pain in the ass.
Peter Hayes did it already. Just want to say, it's already done.
It's already done. That's amazing. Oh, I wish we could have some sort of like, we could submit Peter to some sort of gift making competition.
Did he do the orgasm one?
I couldn't hear it very well. I don't want to turn it up.
Oh, was there audio?
Yeah, there was audio.
Didn't know he.
Oh, it is. I remember it. Like, half chub right now. Speaking of chubs and penises, there is someone at Rooster Teeth, and I don't know who it is, but it's a male, and they are pissing on top of the urinal.
I noticed that.
I did too.
They
Who's
clean it
doing
off.
it?
They clean it off, but then it always gets up there. So it's either someone really tall with zero control over their penis, or it's someone
Wait.
Penis.
But I don't know what it is. Like, what leads to this action to where it just gets everywhere?
Or maybe it's like they're really tall with a really small penis.
Maybe.
And it like,
Maybe they have
that's where it ends, right there on top of the urinal.
I got another possibility. Maybe they have an erection.
Yeah, then you do like the
Erect a
lean
Rooster
thing.
Teeth.
Peeing with an erection.
It's never convenient, but
It's never convenient.
if you're peeing with an erection, you would get a lot more up there.
Yeah.
It's never like a flood.
Oh, do they have the video? Is that
Maybe
what it
one of the, oh, are you looking at that? Maybe
Mega kill, rampage, headshot.
maybe one of the best
Thank you, Peter.
visual gags from movies that still stays with me to this day is 40-Year-Old Virgin, when Steve Carell's character sits down after hungover one day. He always has morning wood every day, and then pees right at himself.
There's me, myself, and Irene did that. Whereas like
It's like, why am I
post-sex-
peeing like I just had sex all night?
Yeah,
Because he did with his other.
he like uses a mirror or a picture frame to like guide the piss into the bath toilet.
God, I saw that film in the theater, and I don't think I've seen it again since it came
It's
out.
not a very good movie.
No, I remember leaving and being like, no, that was not great.
That's on the ass end of the Farrelly brothers like 90s like control over the comedy film genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a couple big when they did.
Show Hal.
No, I felt like they had
Heartbreak
another.
Kid.
They had another big one I forgot about.
I mean, what were the Farrelly brothers like? Actual like really good successful movies.
I mean, Dumb and Dumber. They did.
Dumb and Dumber's them. I
The
forget.
King is it Kingpin or the one where they with the
Yeah,
bowling?
Yeah,
Kingpin.
Uh,
Dumb and Dumber was their pièce de resistance. What?
Something about Mary.
That's the one I'm
is the other
thinking
one
of.
as well. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Dumb and Dumber and Something About Mary.
Those
They're
guys
the
are
other ones I always think about.
killing it in the 90s. I still look up to Dumb and Dumber. That's like one of my favorite. Just like in terms of like a couple, like a dynamic duo. Like, they're so fucking funny.
It's Jeff Daniels. Like, obviously Jim Carrey impresses you in that movie because he's just funny. But like Jeff Daniels not being a comedian, not being a comedic actor, and not really even doing it very much since then, but still like throw him into that role next to Jim Carrey, and he's not like left in the dust by Jim at any point.
No, that movie is so good. If I'm flipping through the TV and Dumb and Dumber's on, like I stop on Dumb and Dumber. Like I will always put that on.
There's a theater in Alamo Drafthouse in town that every time I've gone there, it's been a shit fucking movie. And I saw Dumb and Dumber 2 there. But I also saw I think I saw 50 Shades of Grey.
Like Dumb and Dumberer, is that what you mean?
The second one.
Yeah.
With Carrie and...
Oh wait, Dumb and Dumber 2 was the and the Dumb and Dumber was the prequel.
It's so confusing.
And I saw 50 Shades of Grey there, and then I also saw fucking Suicide Squad there. It's just like every time I go there,
Stop going to that
I
theater.
need to. I think it's a cursed theater. Mueller's got a good track record.
I will say this though, I have learned something about myself as a movie fan. I obviously hate it when I go to a movie and I really want this movie to be good, and I go and it fails and it's bad, and I come out unsatisfied. I have now learned that if I already know a franchise or a movie's going to be bad, and that's what I'm signing up for, and I'm going to go see a bad movie, I can have a fantastic time.
It's all about setting those expectations appropriately.
Like seeing the new Mummy, I knew it was going to be crap, and I was looking so forward to it, and I went and saw it, and it was great. That's how I feel about the next Jurassic World. I am so excited about this pile of dirt.
That's a mindset that I have towards everything in life. Where if you go in with like really shit low expectations, it can only go better. Like things will like surprise you at how good they can be. But if you're expecting nothing, then you're just like,
Yeah, but you don't do that with every
Kratos
movie.
actually says that in the new God of War. He's like, keep your expectations low or something. And I was like, that's yeah, I live by that.
So there was what was it? The Mummy was supposed to kick off. What was it? The Dark Universe or
Yeah, the Dark Universe Cinematic Universe. Dooku.
But apparently they had already tried to launch the Dark Cinematic Universe with
Yeah,
Dracula.
Untold.
And it ended with a cliffhanger. Like the guy was like, let the games begin.
Yep. And then they're like, wait, no. We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it.
The games have not begun
We
yet.
didn't
not let the
mean
games
it.
begin.
Now we mean it. And then Mummy came out and they went, well, now we really don't mean it.
Everyone wants to have that fucking universe, that
Yeah.
cinematic universe.
They
with all these
want their-
films that
their
come.
own-
Everyone sees what Marvel's doing, and they're like, we want that too. But everyone wants to jump too fast into it.
They took a cast photo for the Dark Universe.
So good.
And it was like Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise and
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem, like a bunch of big names. And yeah, I guess they had this whole.
Has anybody else gotten close to the success of the MCU as far as creating it? Like everyone keeps trying. Like even King Kong Skull Island ends with that slideshow
Right.
presentation of all the other monsters.
Oh, Godzilla's in that, right?
Yeah, and like Mothra and that kind of thing. Has anybody else like act like with their attempts succeeded?
Technically X-Men.
Would you consider?
That's not an extended universe, I guess.
Would you
it
consider
is.
what Star Wars is doing with Rogue One and now Solo?
Oh, there's that step forward.
I would.
I would. I think I'll consider it more once they start having new characters and new stories, like with the Jon Favreau series,
Yeah.
where they say it's supposed to be between Jedi and Force Awakens.
Right. Also, I wouldn't consider the Star Wars 1 through 9 a cinematic universe. It's just a series. Just
Yeah.
like I wouldn't consider the Fast franchise a cinematic universe.
Oh, you better be careful. Tim Geddes will show up.
No, I'm not saying they're bad. Although we'll argue that till the dying breath. That it's just a franchise. A shared cinematic universe is like Iron Man is a movie and has its own series. Captain America is a movie, has its own series, and then they all come together in shared moments. But no one else does that except Marvel.
I think there's like
DC has done it on TV. The
What?
Flashverse, basically, or the Arrowverse. Arrowverse is what it is.
I thought you were talking about like the animated series because like there was some where they'd have
There is.
Superman appear on Batman would appear on Superman.
Remember when the Harlem Globetrotters would be on Scooby Doo sometimes?
Hell yeah.
Those are just like
It was like the same thing,
cameos.
yeah. No, or Phyllis Diller would show up, and I was like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
8 years old, and I don't know who Phyllis Diller is, but she's really funny.
Flintstones would be on the Jetsons and vice versa.
That was
would
a
be
shared.
crossover.
That was a shared thing. Yeah.
But what about? I guess Deadpool's kind of. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, obviously,
X-Men's
but
probably the closest
they're kind
now
of
at
doing
this
it
point.
with X-Men.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of that crossover
Because
stuff.
he makes references to the other movies in there, and then also makes references to the other Wolverine movies. And so, yeah, actually, Deadpool. I mean, Wolverine, I guess, to a certain extent, because Logan is definitely a shared event. But yeah, so X-Men, I guess, has done it and has gotten
Well, there's also those other Wolverine movies that weren't good.
Well, I mean, all the Wolverine movies were not good except for Logan.
Yeah, Logan's the only one.
No, there was Wolverine Origins was dog shit. I thought the Wolverine wasn't terrible.
Was
It
the
same
Wolverine the
director.
one where he goes to Japan?
Yeah.
Or was
Yeah.
that- oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
I
That
liked
movie
it.
It
fucking
was very
sucked.
awful. The Silver Samurai, like big old
yeah.
robot at the end. Blah. Hated that movie.
Yeah, it was bad. I agree. It was terrible. I thought there's some cool shit. Remember that part when he's like surrounded by ninjas and they all got arrows in him and he's getting pulled in all these directions with all these arrows?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a cool moment.
Dude,
You know what also had cool moments? Justice League. Justice League had a couple of cool moments.
dog shit.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's how a movie can work.
there was an X-Men Wolverine game. I think it was after Origins. There's
Yeah.
been 2 really good fucking Wolverine games.
Yeah.
Have you played those?
Yeah, that one had a great commercial too. That was like the first person perspective. I think Rupert Sanders directed it. Like the first person perspective where he's escaping prison.
That's been the joke, is that the game's been better than the movie.
Yeah.
They didn't make one for Logan though. I guess that would have been like really sad. Just been putting down. Old
You
memes.
have to die at the end.
You have to give pills to Professor X and make sure he takes them. Otherwise,
man.
like that little
What if,
meter
like-
fills up, and then he has an episode.
Right, we're past like Logan spoilers at this point,
Absolutely.
right? So what if you did the game and you had to have a point where you just had to fight Professor Xavier and kill him at the end?
Aw. Like not just Professor Xavier, but like a demented. Oh, that's so sad.
That's so. Speaking of which, we just recorded a review for Deadpool 2. That comes out this week.
Oh, did you see it?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did.
I heard that they like did pickup shots to like play up like Domino and stuff because she was apparently really cool.
I don't know about the pickup shots, pickup down. I know there was rumor that they had done pickup shots to fix it because of people's reactions to early screenings, but then that was later debunked as not actually true.
Yeah.
They might have done some pickups to like play up something, but movie generally really good.
I don't want to really hear about it, but it looks fucking fantastic.
Like you said, keep those expectations low.
Yeah. It's gonna
Oh.
suck.
Yeah, I thought the first one was okay. I think I wasn't as crazy about it as most people. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I think maybe I had that situation where it was overhyped for me. I didn't watch it right away. Everyone talked about how great it was, and I think I set my expectations too high, which is my fault.
I went into God of War with no expectations. I was just like, this will be a game. Oh my god, it's so good.
It's really good.
It's so good.
I need a PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation. I haven't owned a PlayStation since 2.
Ooh.
And like
So you never played like Last of Us?
no, never
the
played Last of Us.
Uncharted?
No, never played Uncharted. I've never even played a Tomb Raider game.
Horizon.
Oh, the Tomb Raider games are good. The recent ones.
I have the PC. I have the recent one on PC, and I just keep not playing it. You know how we do with Steam games, where it's like it's there. I could play it. I own it. I paid for it. I just haven't played it. But like between God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn and the numerous other ones, and then like Spider-Man's on the horizon, I'm just like I need to play that Spider-Man game.
You need to support PlayStation because if as a film fan, PlayStation's like one of the last people I think that's supporting. Well, no, there's Nintendo, but they're really supporting like strong single player campaigns, narratives, which I'm like all for. That's like
same.
yeah.
I'm not a very good video game player. I don't do very well in multiplayer games. I like single player narratives.
Except for Rainbow Six, even Rainbow Six. Like,
PUBG is the only place I can be decent.
I
That's
hate
all.
PUBG. Just get a free PlayStation, like I did.
I need how do you do those? Where's the sign up?
You get pranked by Chris and Bernie, and then
Oh.
EA feels pity for you and throws you one.
Okay. With
Someone in chat on the website said we talk about movies too much. I don't think we talk about movies enough.
what should we talk about instead of movies?
We should talk about more movies.
We should talk about more movies? I saw a good movie
Before
this weekend.
before we talk about movies, we should talk about Squarespace.
Squarespace, do they make movies?
They don't. But if you like movies, you can make a fan page or a fan website. So I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you.
Do you think you could smother somebody to death with this pillow?
Yes.
Yes. What did you see this weekend?
I went and saw RBG, the doc on Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
How was that?
It was so good. The Ruth Bader Ginsburg I almost said the word character, but she's a historical figure at this point, someone who still lives. That is one of those people that like, I know I should admire this person. I know there's someone of importance in history and in my actual current space right now. But I've not taken the time to actually learn about them and know much about them. I know that just from the people around me and how they react to this person, I should admire this person, but I don't know anything about him. So I went in and knew very little about her career and was amazed by what she has done in the Supreme Court space and everything like that, and did not expect to like be so emotionally have such a strong emotional reaction to the film because of like what it dealt with and what it brought up, and she's one of my heroes now. She works out, and an 84-year-old woman is at the gym wanting to put some muscle weight on.
That's
works
cool.
out.
I was talking to a friend. They were talking about this program called Silver Shoes, where it's like old people getting together and doing like workout stuff. They do some hardcore shit.
But she,
Awesome.
the doc was made masterfully, and it's so good. And she's such an interesting character, and her career is just amazing to follow through. And so I highly recommend go see RBG.
I didn't realize it just opened not that long ago in limited release.
No, limited release. It's one of those ones that Alamo is really pushing when they find ones that they really want to promote. It's definitely one of theirs.
I want to see that.
You mentioned not like keeping up with like current events and stuff like that. I've been trying to make a more like a better effort of like keeping up with daily news and stuff like that. So then like I'll tell my Echo to give me a news flash. I have to tell it to shut up most of the time because this shit is so sad.
Yeah.
And I just like it'd be like 14 people died today. And I'd be like, oh God, stop. And it's really
like, hey, what happened in Gaza today? That's fun.
yeah.
In a more lighthearted subject, there's something else I wanted to talk about that we're working on internally.
We're in. Are you talking about Pilots?
Yeah,
Pilots Month is happening.
Pilots Month. So far, what did we release? We just released Branded.
We did Brandon. That's all it's been out so far. Today is Monday, which means next one is Gork.
Oh, maybe we should talk about Gork.
Maybe we should talk about Gork.
So we have the intro available. I don't know.
Do we?
Yeah, we can show the intro, right, to the people on stream. I think I'm getting a thumbs up. Yeah. Let's show them the intro. That way they know what Gork's about.
In 1983, Earth's top scientists set out to create a supercomputer which could answer every question. Instead, they accidentally built a machine which knew almost nothing and could only generate random questions. This generator of random questions, or Gork, was the first supercomputer, a super stupid computer. Gork's appetite for knowledge was insatiable, but his questions were so dumb and annoying the scientists trapped him in his own universe with the provision he could only win his freedom once he learned the answers to every question. Welcome to Gork's Quest.
So I think that's the first time we're showing that. So we got Todd out here, who's showrunner on the show and kind of putting things together to talk with us a little bit about Gork's Quest.
Showrunner and Gork handler, from what I hear.
I stole all of Todd's hair.
That was looking really good. I was looking at it in the booth, by the way. I was like, man, I wonder what that's like.
Actually, you're one of my 4 dads from the episode of On the Spot with me and
I
my
felt
4
bad
dads.
for your one mom that day. So why did you say we're supposed to promote Gork's Quest? Let's change the subject.
So what's the show all about?
Gork's Quest stars kind of his origin story, as you guys saw, showed a kind of a stupid supercomputer who's trapped in this universe. So
the opposite of the supercomputer in like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is supposed to answer the one big question, Gork just asks every question.
yeah, so he has to learn the answer to every question before he can be released. So we made a contract with him. He's kind of a diva. He was a long rider and all that.
Sure.
We basically have a panel of Rooster Teeth people, a rotating host. Blaine's going to be one of the hosts, if we get picked up for the season. And just sort of cycle out. And we have really funny conversations and sort of a loose game show concept.
How dare you make a game show?
It's not a...
I have the game show circuit figured out, okay?
Yeah, but it's not like the official game show, Rooster Teeth.
Not the
right?
official. Okay.
Don't worry. Gork is still trapped. So he can't fully bust out. He has a way to go until I think he learns all the answers.
Although we were just talking about shared cinematic universes, if Gork's Quest gets picked up for full seasons, then we could have the whole crossover kind of thing at some point.
Oh yeah,
where Gork and me meet, almost like when how Mork was in Happy Days and that kind of thing.
Wow, that's going back pretty far, Jim.
And Mork rhymes with Gork.
Mork rhymes with Gork. Is that part of it?
Gork is a real handful.
Yeah.
Kind of Blaine spends a lot of time with him, so he could speak to that.
He's a little rude, but also
dick?
he's different. He's kind of hard to handle.
Is Gork's story going to be something where we have to teach while he asks us questions, we teach him how to be human and to not be such an asshole?
I think we might have an example. Do we have an example?
Oh, do we have
we have another clip. We have a
show?
clip from the show, actually. It's not just NASA footage.
We're just going to show the whole pilot right now.
Can we cue that up?
Yeah.
Is it
This
going?
is just a piece of
What's your topic?
My topic was ghosts.
Oh, okay. We don't have those in my universe. Okay.
Ghosts in the
You
machine.
don't have those in this universe either.
You have ghosts everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't you have an entire show about ghosts,
Calm down.
man?
All right. It's pitch week.
You already know there's no ghosts? What's with the show then?
You need skeptics.
Yeah, you need a non-believer.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, go. Have you ever peed on a ghost by accident?
Yes.
Why do ghosts always hang out in hotels?
Because that's where they died.
What is an updated buzzword ghosts should use instead of boo?
Heyo.
Oh my god, that's a terrible answer. Would you shit yourself on the spot if you saw the ghost of an elephant?
No, I think that's rad.
I like that Jeremy immediately put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah, during the month where his pilot of his show is going to come out that's about ghosts.
So that's cool. That's coming out this week.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
11 a.m. Central.
11 a.m. Central on the roosterteeth.com site.
Gork's Quest, check it out.
First members.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about that.
What else we got coming out this promo? We had Brandon, we had Gork, we got June Hunters,
Murder Room,
Murder Room,
and MDB Animated.
animated.
that's what.
Oh, that's where you.
No, I'm excited for all of them. This is like a lot of fun stuff.
Thanks for giving us a little sneak peek.
Yeah,
of,
look forward to
what we
Gorks.
can
I'm really
expect.
I gotta
excited.
go clean up Gork's bed and trash. And stuff like that. I gotta do all sorts of stuff with the kid.
Oh, does he have a trailer?
Oh yeah, it's a wreck, dude. Red Bulls everywhere. He's a pig. The guy's
Condoms.
a pig. Yeah.
He doesn't need them. He's just trying to understand them.
I think people will like him, but I really have to bear the burden. So
Okay.
that's fine. I think
All right,
take
well,
the bullet
thanks for helping us out with
Thanks,
that.
Todd.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
So back to movies. No, I have actually a story that involves movies, but not actually. It's not about the movie itself.
Okay.
So I went out to L.A.
Fucking brag about it.
Yep. So I went to L.A. like I do all the time, and hung out with Funhouse for a few days. We filmed.
More bragging.
Is that bragging? I hung out with Funhouse and we filmed like an episode of On the Spot in their new space out there. And one of the nights we were out there, they had a fan meetup, and so we were all at a Dave and Buster's. And near the end of it, when it was dying down, Bruce texted me. And I was staying at his place, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, it's like around like 9 o'clock. He's like, this is Thursday night, the premiere of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, there's a 9:30 showing of 3D Infinity War upstairs at a theater upstairs to this place that we're at. We're like in a mall. Do you want to go see it? I was like, yeah, I totally want to go see it. And I had seen it with the preview screening we got to see with the no, but I was like totally down to see it again. And so rushed out, went and got my ticket. Found him in the theater and sat down. I was so excited because I love watching movies with Bruce. I've seen a couple. I had a chance with him a few times, and he's a fun guy to go with. And I was excited to see the movie again. We're sitting there talking. Time comes. Lights dim. Trailers pop up. 5 seconds of trailers play, and then everything dims again, and lights start flashing.
And it was a rave.
We hear
What lights are flashing? Like the house lights or the projector?
emergency lights.
Oh, okay.
The house lights.
No, someone pulled a fire alarm. And so we were all sitting there in the theater, and
Middle school.
yeah, we were trying to figure out if, like, what do you do? Do we leave? Like, is it a real fire alarm? Did someone pull a fire alarm?
I like that that's the initial response to any time a fire alarm is pulled. Like, people sit and then they're just like, is this real?
It's because
So everybody just waits.
it's an unfortunate system that can be triggered by idiots, not the actual
Fires.
Yeah, the concern that it's for, disaster that's for. So we sat there and waited and saw if something was gonna happen. Lady came in and said, "Yeah, someone pulled the alarm. Movie will restart in like 5-10 minutes." We're like, "Cool, we're gonna see the movie." 5-10 minutes go by, nothing happens. So Bruce goes out there to find out what's happening. Talks with someone, texts me. That like they say like another 5 minutes and it's gonna go, and then I wait another 5 minutes and Bruce texts me or comes back and he's like, actually said it might be another hour
Oh my god.
before the movie's gonna start. And so this is also the night before I had an early morning flight, and Infinity War is a 3-hour movie essentially, and I was like,
And you'd already seen it.
and I'd already seen it, and so now we're at like 9:50, almost 10 o'clock, which means the movie will get out around 1 if it were to start.
Yeah.
But then like an hour wait. So we wait a few more minutes, and eventually we're like, okay, the movie's not going to happen. So we walked out, and the entire like movie theater itself was emptying all theaters out, and everyone was leaving, and there was an entire like parade of people.
Exodus.
It was an exodus of people, and it was also Thursday night. Someone had ruined an entire theater's worth people's night of Infinity War and had them all have to leave.
The premiere
movie.
night.
Yeah.
First night.
Had ruined that entire experience for people.
Do you think it was somebody that was like disgruntled that they didn't get a ticket or something?
I don't know, some idiot, that kind of thing.
Maybe someone who was gruntled.
What made the night extra interesting / annoying was something I'm sure that you would blow your mind about,
Oh,
which was
God.
the entire time we were waiting in the theater before the movie started, and then during that whole kind of purgatory space where we were waiting to see if it was going to start, Bruce and I are sitting in our seats, one row up and about 10 seats to the left. A gentleman was seeing the movie by himself and decided that before the movie started and while we were waiting during the fire alarm that he wanted to listen to his music. But he wasn't listening to his music through headphones. He was just listening to his music through his phone speaker. And he was just playing a generic, I guess, hip-hop music at a loud enough volume that we all could hear it and didn't have a choice whether or not we were to experience this musical, time.
Awesome.
And so that was like adding to the whole, like, I'm not really having a good time right now.
Yeah.
I hate that. Sometimes I see people in like the supermarket walking around shopping, and they've got like their speaker phone on and they're playing music from their phone. I'm like, what are you doing?
I was getting the new iPhone from Best Buy because my other one was shitting out. Well, actually, I was like on the verge of a breakup because my girlfriend couldn't hear me over my existing phone because every time I called, it was like, she said it was just like that fucking annoying. It got to the point where we started correlating shitty phone calls with each other.
Yeah.
So like she was like, you need to go get your phone fixed. So I went and got a new phone. Anyways, while I was out there, I saw that I don't know who's making it, but they have this thing. It's basically a collar that goes around your neck, and it has speakers that shoot music up into your face.
No.
And I was like, and I asked the guy, I was like, is that what I think it is? Is those just speakers that play into your ears? And he's like, yeah, it's like this new thing. And I was like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
That is the modern boombox on your shoulder going down the street.
To be fair, I turned it on, I walked away. And you couldn't hear it as well, but you could definitely still hear it. It was like an iPhone speaker's worth of volume.
So we have a poll set up for people. They can go to roosterteeth.com/play and they can vote as to whether or not we talk about movies too much.
Hey.
So if you're this only works if you're watching live right now. If you're a first member at Rooster Teeth, you can go to roosterteeth.com/play and give us a vote. Let us know if we talk about movies too much, and it'll update live on the air as we're talking.
Plenty of other movie stuff to talk about. In the meantime, can I propose a question to you guys?
Go for it.
It was a conversation Alana and I got in over this weekend. Oh, is the poll already up? So, if the person that you were dating, or Gus, in your situation, that you were married to, I guess we don't talk about movies enough.
Keep your story.
Sorry, I was paying attention to the poll. The poll's very distracting.
Oh my God.
If the person you were would you be cool if the person you were dating or a friend drugged you?
What?
Yeah.
How would you ever be cool with that?
I don't know. That's the question.
Give me
a positive example of this.
I don't know.
I will.
I'm about to kill someone
because Alana
and
was
they
like,
drug me, so I stop and calm down and don't kill someone.
All right, maybe, but then no. My example was like, what if like Alana came up behind me and she's like, "I'll see you in 2 hours," and like put the scarf over my face. I'm
Still
like,
bad. Still bad.
And I pass out, and then I wake up and I'm like in like a cool escape room or something, and it's like all a surprise for my birthday.
No,
that'd be cool.
No,
I'd be down for that.
No.
Or if you're like in like if somebody gave you like a weed brownie and you're like, hey, we're gonna cut loose tonight, we're gonna have fun, and then like while you're eating this brownie, and then they're like, by the way, it's weed brownie.
No.
Am I the only person that's cool with that?
Absolutely not.
And you should not be cool with it.
Well, no, I'm not saying like I would never want to get drugged, and I'm not downplaying like people who get drugged at clubs. Like that's fucking awful. That's atrocious. But like my argument was that people that I trust, I feel like they would have the best intentions.
No. No. This is a hard no. This is a hard no.
I think maybe that's our next poll.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, do not make that a poll, because the answer is no. No one should ever drug anybody without their consent.
Yes, I agree, and I told her I would never drug her. That's like absolutely not. But I would trust that Alana would drug me in a responsible way, and I would have fun.
That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. That's you trying to imply how much trust you have in your girlfriend by having that conversation with her. That is not a conversation of, hey, do you think you'd be okay if someone you loved would drug you? It's like, no, that's not okay.
Well, she said she would, if I did it to her, not that I said that I would or whatever. She was just like, I would be pissed off no matter what. She was like, I would probably break up with you if it was early in our relationship. But now she would just be really, really pissed off and stuff.
Oh, but no, don't ever do that.
I don't know. I think there's situations where it'd be kind of fun.
So it looks like we don't talk about movies enough to segue away from Blaine's awful question. So yeah, in your face, I think it was Steve-O on the website. We don't talk about movies too much. So I was listening to Gork talk. We were watching the bit of the episode, and it made me think about that. Did you all see that Google Duplex demonstration that Google had last week?
Yes.
Is it like a new home type
No.
thing?
No, it's like functionality that Google Assistant is going to have.
This was one of those experiences where I watched the video and went immediately from, this is awesome, to, oh no.
Oh wait, was that the ethnicity one?
No.
You could tell
phone call one.
Yeah, you could tell tell the assistant that the example they gave was
Robot assistant?
Google Assistant.
the voice thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Google Assistant.
You could tell it to schedule you a haircut on Tuesday anytime between 10 a.m. and noon. And it will, on its own, without you doing anything, it will call the barbershop for you and speak to a real human on your behalf and schedule everything for you and then let you know when it's done. And they gave not a live, they gave supposedly a real world example of it. And it was fucking weird.
It was amazing on a technological like basis alone. It's like this is amazing to watch happen. I can't believe we have.
It seems like something out of the future.
Yeah, so futuristic. Like the robot voice sounded really natural, even threw in some human like tendencies of throwing in ums or pauses and that kind of thing.
No.
Yeah. And was able to respond to the very business-like conversation you have with someone over the phone making an appointment. It was able to have that kind of a conversation because very structured conversation.
Well, they also gave a less than stellar example after that. I don't know if you saw the
No,
other
I didn't
one.
see the second one.
If you asked it if it was a robot, what would it say?
I don't remember. They said they're gonna update it to clarify that it makes it known that.
That was everyone's thing, is that
speaking to
it didn't
a
it didn't express that it just said I'm calling for this person.
For a client or someone. Yeah.
So like my question is though, you have like an Echo and you have your Google Assist. Would you trust them if they drugged you?
Do they trust you enough to let you give them a computer virus? Man, did you see? So then we're talking about like this virtual assistant thing. There was something else I saw last week, which was actually I thought pretty scary. Did you see this thing that they're calling? What do they call it? Dolphin attack, where they realized that these assistants, that listen to your voice. I don't want to say their names because I don't want to trigger everyone.
Yeah.
But these assistants that listen to your voice and that you can talk to can hear frequencies that humans can't hear. So there's a new proof of concept attack where you can use a supersonic speaker that's inaudible to humans to project commands to these devices.
Oh no!
So it's like you can't hear anything. It sounds silent, but then like
so while it's in my pocket,
the assistant activates and we'll make a phone call or order something.
But they can patch that though. Like they could just tell your phone to ignore those
but it
decibels.
So then there was another jumping off from there, where there was another proof of concept where they would embed the commands in a video or in music. So it's like the audio to you sounds pretty normal. Like it might sound like a little fucked up, but there's commands hidden in there that the assistants pick up on.
Buy me this product.
Right. Or call this person or send this text.
I still don't trust my Echo to buy things for me. Like I know that that's a function that it can do, but I won't be like, hey, buy me toilet paper.
It's funny that you bring that up because I recently discovered a new podcast that I'm a big fan of called The Hive. It's produced by Vanity Fair, but it's hosted by Nick Bilton, who's a New York Times journalist and everything like that. Really cool, just one-on-one interview style podcast where he gets interesting people and talks to them. The first episode was Bob Iger, CEO of Disney. It was really amazing to listen to. Never heard just like a lengthy conversation with Bob Iger and heard like the man is extremely smart. The man is extremely charismatic. The man sounds like he really cares about the company. And you obviously can't like determine everything about a person from these podcasts, but it's really interesting. The one that just came out, the brand new one that caught my interest of why I started listening to the podcast was that he had a conversation with this guy who was formerly part of The Onion and a writer for The Daily Show, Baritund Thurston. And he had this very lengthy conversation about tech. Nick Bilton's a big tech writer, has been doing it for like 13 years. And they had a talk about like the Facebook breach of information and that kind of thing. And a big topic that they discussed was a change in the responsibility of what the default is. And you talk about patching out that problem, but like the default of these things needs to be put on, the responsibility needs to be put on the developers to like have these things figured out before they release these AIs. I think I'm boring Blaine, so we can move the topic to something else that Blaine was talking about.
I think that you're right. I think too often, and I've seen on Twitter, like Kumail Nanjiani talks about this sometimes, about how developers or people will do things because it's possible without thinking of all the potential negative ramifications of it.
Boston Dynamics, for example, making fucking robots that will
run and hunt us down,
kill us, and they'll do it while jumping over logs and shit. Those guys scare me. Sorry to derail.
No, that's very correct. That's that recent Boston. Like every time those videos come out, I go, "This is really cool," and I'm scared.
I always think of that scene. I'll watch those videos, and then I'll watch the scene in Jurassic Park with Goldblum, where I'll be like, they didn't think about if they should do it.
Yeah.
Somewhat related to that, I read another story a couple of weeks ago about how the FBI was giving a presentation at a security conference, and they were talking about how it sounds almost made up. Like I don't know if I want to believe the story or not.
Yeah.
But they talked about how they were working on this hostage rescue situation, and that how they had this elevated observation position where they were watching where everything was happening, and that as they were setting up their observation position, that their agents got overrun by a swarm of drones. That the people who had the hostage were controlling drones and sending them like swooping after the agents, and that they were filming and live streaming the swooping. That way, the people in the house could observe the FBI agents, and in order to make their escape.
That sounds like
That's very
almost
smart.
That almost sounds like an Onion thing, but I could also totally believe that'll happen.
Did you ever see? There was back to movies. There was a movie I think in the early '80s. It had Tom Selleck. It was called Runaway. It was like
I never saw that.
It was a science fiction.
It's the guy that has
film.
the mustache.
I know who Tom Selleck is. I didn't see the movie Runaway.
It was a science fiction film, and when I was a kid, that movie scared the shit out of me. But it was set in the future, and I think it was supposed to be in Seattle.
Yeah.
And there's the bad guy is Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But there's all these like little robots.
I gotta find a poster of this now.
There's it's in the future, so there's robots everywhere, and there's like these little robots that can be hacked and controlled, and they can like inject people with poison to kill them. And Gene Simmons has a gun that has bullets that are
tongues.
It's tied to people, so it's like if he shoots a bullet at you, Blaine, and you're like around a corner, it goes around the
like
corner,
tracer bullets.
and it looks for you, and it only hits you.
That sounds fantastic. I want to watch that movie
That's
now.
like the gun from Fifth Element. It has that mode where it.
Yeah. And I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, that was the most scary thing to me, like these little spider robots.
He's got a power
bullets that can
glove.
go
Look
around
at that.
Fuck yeah.
corners. You should look up what Gene Simmons looks like in that movie.
There was a movie that was like that scared the shit out of me too, because I was like, oh my god, it's inescapable. There's nothing that I can do. Some Sandra Bullock movie where she got like hacked or something.
The Net.
That
Net
movie
frightened
scared the
me.
shit out of me.
The Net frightened me.
Like
And also, like, there's that scene where they change the elevation for the plane, so the guy like flies into the mountain, like at the beginning of the movie. It's like, yeah, everything's connected to the net, and it can be hacked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not far from the truth. Like back in the 90s, that was a bit of a stretch, but now like that could probably happen.
Well, yeah, there was the problem with the phones, or like there might be an ongoing problem of like, the going on to these assistants that they are always listening so that they can hear when you call them.
Mm-hmm.
But that means they're always listening. So then people wonder like, well, does that mean that they're listening to everything I say? Thus, can they use that information to, fabricate ads for me or,
Right.
or suggestions for me, that kind of thing with this algorithm that we have going on, just that's running the world. And that it scares me. And I don't know what the solution is at this point.
Don't use them.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the unplug option, but I don't think that's like a viable option for people in the professional world to participate in. I don't know. I can't unplug. And
No, you can
still-
unplug from those devices,
Right.
Or from those things that listen to you all the time.
Wait, is your concern that they're gonna hear you say something and then like post it or something, or someone's gonna hack into your Echo or some shit?
Why did one of your eyes blink and not the other one when you said that?
Because I'm the robot and I'm malfunctioning.
You're from Westworld.
Last night's episode was so good. I want to talk about. We can't talk about it because spoilers.
We'll talk a little bit about it.
I think that there is definite concern, no matter what, at the idea of you always being listened to.
Yeah,
Just like the idea of you're always being tracked to GPS by your phones.
yeah.
Do you watch Westworld?
I do.
So I was worried after not yesterday's episode, but last week's episode.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, oh man, I don't know if this is over. This episode, that was like, I watched it. I was like, I think that might be the worst episode
It was dog shit.
of the entire show.
Yeah.
And
Nothing happened.
Well,
no,
I mean, even the stuff that did happen was like,
There was
But
like some
the
stuff.
stuff that happened was nothing. Like
Yeah.
nothing happened.
There was some stuff like blocking wise, even like like a wide shot. A group of people came up on two other characters. I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to spoil anything. And they ambushed them, and one of them awkwardly ran away. And in the same shot, the other one like gave up. It was really bad. It was just like they took the first take from every performance.
or even like the battle when the people were like advancing, like
Running straight.
Yeah, it's like what is this?
It was like
Also-
the battle was like a low budget Game of Thrones battle. Like if Game of Thrones like had been like, we'll just
I
throw something
totally
together.
agree.
But yesterday's episode was probably the best episode they've had out of both seasons.
It
so
was
far.
also like a fucking Black Mirror episode inside of an episode.
I
of
thought it made me
Westworld.
think about Lost. I got definitely that Lost vibe initially,
Yes.
like when there's the music was playing and you see like you don't see the person's face, you see their legs and they're
Yeah.
doing this thing and like that kind of long tracking shot through the environment. It made me think of like in Lost, the episode A Tale of Two Cities, when you first meet Juliet,
Yeah.
and she's baking, and like the camera's going through the house, and
Yeah.
she burns herself, and then you're like, what the fuck's happening? And then you like, she goes outside, and you see the plane break in half. It's like, oh shit, she's on the
On
island.
the island.
Yeah, it's like it was like that kind of moment where it's like all this like this long thing. You're like, what's going on? And then you see
It all makes sense.
Like
what's happening.
It's really pretty. I think it was like that was a directorial debut from Lisa Joy. I want to say. I
Lisa
can't
Joyce,
remember.
director, who's the
Knocked it out of the park.
creator of the show. Yeah,
Yeah, she stepped away to write Last of Us, I think.
Oh, really?
There was like a female writer on Westworld that went away to do Last of Us 2 or something, which is exciting. You know, I'm excited for Westworld or Last of Us 2. Sorry, what were you saying?
nothing. I was just going to point out that Ed Harris is killing it insanely. That man is an acting king.
Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah, he. I mean, I guess we can't talk about it because spoilers and whatnot. It was Haley Gross who went to go write for Last of Us 2.
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was a season 1 writer. She went over.
But yeah, he had a moment last night where he's talking to that technician.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just like after he finishes talking to the person in the room and comes out and talks to the technician, and he has like that quick exchange. I was like, that is the most evil badass thing ever.
Yeah, it's definitely sad at the prospect of not getting to have like Anthony Hopkins in this season like we had him in the first season. But Ed Harris is like, I think, filling in that aged actor.
I have some theories about that I'll share with you later.
Okay, we can talk about that.
But yeah, this season like that. Episode 1 was just kind of okay, and I was like, all right, I'll allow this one. I knew that this one was gonna be really expository. They're gonna have to get people caught back up. And episode 2 was like okay, it was just your standard episode. And like you said, like 3 was dog shit.
I didn't say 3 was dog shit. You said 3 was dog shit.
Westworld season 2 episode 3 dog shit. Gus Rolla, 2018, May 14th. My birthday.
So apparently we have visualization of what it would look like if Todd stole his hair back from you.
Oh no. What does it look like?
Oh
God.
Mom?
Did Peter Hayes make that too?
Oh man.
Yeah, from the control room.
That's just.
I think Peter's a robot. Has anybody actually met Peter?
No one's ever met Peter. Doesn't exist.
Because I'm pretty sure he's an AI.
He's
just like doing Rooster Teeth gifs.
Or still images or video. He's a triple threat.
Everything.
Since we've moved on from film to TV.
I'm not done with movies yet.
What we talk about Barry? Anybody watch Barry?
I'm watching Barry right now. I'm in the like the 4th episode.
Okay. Do you watch Barry? You fuck with Barry?
Barry's good.
Barry's good.
It's not a like. It's one of those shows. Like there's certain shows that once you start watching, you can't help but binge the whole thing because you're so excited. Like Wild Wild Country was that way for me, where I was like, I got to know how this story ends now. Barry, I'm enjoying, but I don't have to like go crazy at it. But every time I turn it on, I'm like, Hater's good.
It's bite size, 30 minutes, and I think it does a good job of straddling both like serious drama and then lighthearted dark comedy.
Dark comedies
moments
in there, yeah.
I think that overall I really liked it. I feel like towards the end it wrapped up a little too quickly.
I haven't watched the full first season.
Yeah,
so
I wish that maybe and maybe they had more padded out, but maybe they ended up editing it and cutting a couple episodes down.
For like it's something like 13 episodes for season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that. So it's gonna have more.
I think that maybe there might have been more there, and then in editorial they may have cut a few episodes out because at the end it's just like bam, 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 bam. You blow through a lot.
Every
of things.
time we talk about something that Blaine has less interest in, we just lose him by.
It's like a child on his birthday.
I love the Chechnyan thug dude with like alopecia or something like that. Who
NoHo Hank or Hank NoHo.
Like he is a really good character, and that he's not just like a stereotypical thug in a Eastern European gang.
Yeah, I love like he's like the techie or the gearhead, and like that kind of causes problems for them.
Yeah,
like, immediately.
He's good. I like him. Yeah, and I was gonna bring up how insane that Brooklyn Nine-Nine got picked up by.
Yeah, what
NBC.
happened with that? So it got canceled, and then they renewed it because of the audience outcry.
No, it got canceled on Fox.
Got canceled
and then
on
NBC
Fox.
picked it up.
Oh, did they buy the rights to it or something?
They must have.
Yeah, so that's happened where shows get picked up by another channel. My question is, no, I'm not upset about this. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the best, I guess, sitcom, situational comedy on TV and is amazing.
No, Big Bang Theory is.
Shut up. But the fact that Fox announces cancellation day one,
Mm-hmm.
and then day 2, NBC announces they're picking up. My question is, do deals get made that quickly,
Or was it already
this
in the works?
Already in the works.
Maybe it happened that quickly. I don't know.
I'm not like
I feel like
suggesting
they-
any sort of like ulterior motives or like wrongdoings, but I just wondered.
I
Like,
think that might have happened already because there's no way that they can get all of the cast to sign on for a new season in a day's time. Like,
well, the
it seems
cast
very
finds out,
unlikely.
like cast of these shows find out that they get picked up in a way. It's not like they ask the cast, "Do you want to be in the show?" They just announce, "Okay, we've been picked up for more seasons." The cast goes, "Cool." Like, my contract says I can do this many
I guess
seasons.
Raul was tweeting about that.
Yeah, Rahul he was waiting to find out if iZombie was going to get picked up for another season.
That's got to be fucking stressful.
That is stressful.
You're gonna find out if you have a job or not, basically.
But it depends on what the cast, like, their contracts say as far as like how many seasons they're.
Do you think like it got canceled and someone on the cast was like, "Oh man, I can finally do this other project now," and then the next day NBC picks it up like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
on one hand it's good, but on the other hand it's like, "I want to do this other thing."
Yeah, like the one main character that just actually did not, like Andy Samberg's like, I really was done.
Yeah, I was gonna go make a movie.
Yeah.
Do you think Raul's gonna come to RTX? I haven't met him yet. He seems like a nice
I
fella.
have not met him yet either. He's going to be at MegaCon.
Why? Why? Should we invite him to Disney?
We should invite him to Disney. And our good friend Gus.
Disney World.
You're
You're leaving early.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipts Podcast is also brought to you by Can't Go Off Message.
Did you guys? I'm a huge Predator fan. Like, the original Schwarzenegger
watch
film
the
is
trailer?
like probably one of my favorite movies. Yeah, did you guys see the new trailer for The Predator?
Mm-hmm.
It's real bad. I'm
think
not
so?
excited. Oh yeah.
I will say the trailer is not a very good trailer.
I hope it's just a bad trailer.
But that being said,
It's the one with like the kid who finds the thing and he's like,
yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
this, and then the ship's coming
Who
down.
the fuck mails Predator armor?
Okay.
It's literally a nuclear bomb.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe like there was out of space on the plane, on the ship, you know, and he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta fucking ship this home now."
I'm being serious here, Gus. This is Predator we're talking about. I
I'm
think
being
this is very
serious too. Those overhead baggage fees, they're no joke, especially intergalactic.
Remember how like respectful he was to like topics we were having a second ago?
Yeah.
And then the minute you don't take his topic serious, he's like,
Wait.
It's my birthday, John.
Predator.
You know, you actually, if you get 4, you'd have like the mandibles of
I know
a
what I'm
predator. I stuck these in my nose.
you know why I'm still hopeful? Because it's being directed by Shane Black.
Yeah, and I like Shane Black.
Shane Black is a genius.
Doesn't have any of his trademark Shane Black's.
Well, now that you've seen, was it a full trailer or was it a teaser?
Would you have watched the trailer
Teaser.
for Iron Man 3 and been like, that looks like a Shane Black film?
Yes.
No, bullshit.
Because there was like buddy comedy elements. It was set during Christmas. There's parts in LA.
I meant a trailer. Watching a trailer of Iron Man 3.
Yeah, no, you could decipher all that from the
Bullshit.
trailer.
You just wanna be angry.
No,
He just wants
was,
to be angry.
That was the he'll never see me coming. That was that trailer, right? The
You'll
Mandarin
never see
Yeah.
me coming.
and the fucking people falling out of the plane. You know, typical Shane Black movie.
Typical Shane Black stuff.
Oh, they were in my nose. Right there.
so I think it was Eric in the control room was like, those are in his nose.
Oh.
Keep my clean nose.
I'm excited for it. That's coming out really soon. It's like this summer, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited for it too, and I think Schwarzenegger might.
When does
make
The
a
Predator
cameo.
come out?
We just talked about this, dude.
I
You're
know.
using it.
But I'm using it September 14th.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August.
Dude, do you
That's
really
a
have
while. Huh? What?
Do you really have to do that?
Do what?
You can't figure out how far away September is?
No, I know. Yeah, it's 4 months away. Thank you, John.
You really had to count from January?
No.
Wait, you started from January?
He did.
I thought he just had a count in May, June, July.
This is the worst birthday ever.
We're going to go climbing.
we couldn't even get a full podcast crew for my birthday podcast.
No, I requested the whole couch.
I wanted more time for you, Blaine.
No, thank you.
Oh, you like pizza, right?
I love pizza.
Yeah, I know you like home slice, and I think that home slice over here is going to be opening up pretty soon. I
They
saw
announced
they've
the
been
date
like
yet?
teasing it. I drove by the other day, and they were packed at night. I think they're doing like their friends and family testing.
Ooh.
Like it looked like a full restaurant service was going
Where
on.
did my invite go?
And I know
go there weekly.
Home slice. What the fuck? Come on, Hook us up.
We probably do so much advertising for home. Anyways, go on, you guys.
But that was going to be a segue because I saw this YouTube video. I think it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was this channel that made a double deep fried pizza.
Is it Epic Mealtime or whatever?
No, it was healthy junk food.
What? That looks like
HELL.
Oh.
That looks like that. Oh, never mind.
So yeah, they made a pizza, deep fried it, then put more toppings on it, and deep fried it.
That's pretty fantastic.
That was really yummy.
Yeah, it looked fucking incredible. Now I can't think about anything other than wanting to eat a deep fried pizza.
Do you fuck with Via 3 and 3?
Yeah.
Via 3 and 3 is fantastic.
Mamma mia.
There was a video on like a BuzzFeed like Twitter channel or something like that, Twitter account that was a video of someone making a 100-layer lasagna.
Damn.
And it was pretty amazing. They actually had to like extend the little pan they made in to actually be able to deal with the 100 layers. And then when they cooked and everything, and they showed all the making layers and everything, and they cooked it, they had this cross-section shot of these thin layers just going down 100 times, and it was the most like beautiful things I've seen.
I'm looking
There's
it up right
no
now.
way that they cooked the inside of it though. Like how?
Why?
Because
noodles.
it's like
it's noodles.
Yeah, but there's meat.
Yeah, and the meat's
bolognese or whatever it's
like,
called.
the meat's like already like browned and everything.
But the cheese, you gotta melt the cheese. I'm sure it wasn't fully cooked.
Well, the cross-section shot showed it all the way cooked.
I hadn't considered that the meat was already cooked. Anyways, is there a photo of it? That sounds delicious.
I don't know which one it was that you saw, but
I don't know.
is it like that?
Sure. Yeah, that's that shot right there.
That looks just like one of those, the Greek places that serve the meat on the spinning wheel.
Like shawarma?
No, the
Gyro?
gyro.
Oh, gyro.
Yeah, it looks like that. You just shave off lasagna as it's
That's
spinning.
super yummy too.
I was watching. Did anybody watch Ugly Delicious on Netflix?
I love Ugly Delicious.
So you talked about Gyro, and that made me think about something. It's a fucking great show. You should watch it on Netflix. If
What's
you
the
have
name
Netflix.
of the showrunner on that? The chef?
Is it David Choi?
Chang?
David Chang.
Oh no,
David Chang.
it's Boyardee.
Shut up.
But-
shut up.
Okay.
They talk about, in that show, they have an episode about tacos, and they talk about how the pastor type of meat that you put in tacos is directly descended from gyro meat.
Yeah.
Like it was like there was a huge Lebanese influence on tacos, and that you have like, depending on where you are in Mexico, there's some areas that have like this crossover Lebanese style tacos, and it was really interesting. I'd never heard of it before, but after I saw that episode, I was like, I need to find those.
Oh, that's the episode about dumplings. As soon as it was over, I was like, well, I have to go get dumplings now. And actually maybe ask like a couple people, like there's actually a really good like what's that kind of food called? Like dumplings. There's a word for it. It's
About like
dim sum.
Dim sum, yeah.
Dim sum. Like if there's a good dim sum place in Austin, because we had a good dim sum place when we were in RTX Sydney.
Is that like gyoza dumplings?
Gyoza or dumplings, yeah.
Yeah. Was that what you're referring to though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're been to Kula, or is it?
Yeah.
Kura. They changed their name. It's
Okay.
Kura.
I thought I was racist for a while.
They
when
changed their name?
Yeah, it used to be Kula. Now it's Kura.
Yeah. You can understand why I feel like I would have been racist for thinking that, right?
Do they serve dumplings there?
I don't know.
No, it's conveyor belt sushi.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they have gyoza there.
They do have gyoza.
Okay. And so wasn't Ali Wong a guest on?
Yeah,
an episode
I think
of
she was
that?
on the dumpling one, right?
She was on. She was
Yeah.
on the dumpling one. Did you watch her new Netflix
seen it, no.
special, Hard Knock Wife?
I haven't seen it.
It's fucking hilarious. Like she is insanely talented and funny, and it's basically it would kind of be like in the same vein as like Jim Gaffigan, who could spend an entire set for an hour talking about food and still keep you entertained. She spends the entire hour talking about being a new mom, but it's in the most like
Sounds relatable.
it's in the most self like it's in a very real and funny way that it's not just someone talking about the magical thing of being a parent. It's like no,
She was great in that episode of Ugly Delicious. I thought she was really funny.
She was
Like even
really
though she's only on it very briefly. What's up, dude?
Did you hello? I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
So I had a new type of dumpling last night that I'd never had before.
What'd you have?
I found a restaurant in Austin that I went to a restaurant in Austin. What the fuck am I saying?
You found it.
I went to a restaurant here in town that serves Nepalese food.
Nipple.
And I'd never had
28 years old, everybody. 28 years old today.
I'd never had food from Nepal before, so I went there, and they have this type of dumpling they call a momo.
What's in a momo?
It was pork but it had like this sauce on the side I couldn't identify. It was yellow and it looked like mustard, but it didn't taste like mustard.
Is yellow meat?
No. So the sauce on the side was yellow.
Okay.
But it was pork in the momo. But That food was spicy as fuck.
Yeah.
I normally am good with spicy food, but I ordered medium. I was like, I don't want anything too spicy. I'll just eat medium. And my head was sweating. I could feel pools of sweat on my scalp and on my face. I was like, I want to die. It's so fucking hot. And I highly recommend it. You should absolutely go eat it.
That's not fun to pass that. Like,
No, but it's fun to eat.
Okay, so
I texted Chili Parlor last night. That went through me today, and I was like, oh god.
people say that all the time with spicy foods, but like when we did the hot ones challenge here a while back when Marcus threw that like wings party. He had wings up to like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of Scovilles. And I did every single one of them all the way to the worst one. And everyone was just like, yeah, we're all going to have terrible poos tonight. And it's just going to be terrible coming through. The challenge was over. And then I went and saw it with like Ashley.
And then you took a shit.
No. I went with you. And I had a coffee at it and then went home. And I had no problems the entire night. Apparently, it's the one thing my body can do is process spicy food afterwards.
Fortunate. Did you have any sort of like milk or any basic?
I mean, we here at the event, they had like some ice cream and milk.
That might have helped.
That might have helped, but I figure it's still got to pass, right?
Whenever I did the gallon challenge for whatever,
that was the worst thing in the world.
I was like shitting milk, literally shitting milk.
I hated being near you. I know you probably had a terrible experience doing that. I cannot be around someone who's like having like vomit. Like,
it's good times. I remember what I was going to talk about. Oh God, did I forget it? No. Okay. So Gus and John, I think you'd both find this appealing, especially Gus. There's this new Netflix thing about the guys that do the pizza shop bank robbery thing.
Evil Genius.
Yeah.
Have not watched it yet.
We already talked about
it's
this?
on my list. No.
Okay.
But I need to watch
Okay.
it.
Did you see the trailer for it though?
No.
They put a guy in this like collar bomb, and it looks. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a real thing. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
It seems like a fucking like Shane Black movie or something. Like it looks like a Lethal Weapon. What? What?
No, look at something out of Lethal Weapon. I get you.
Yeah, this guy's got. I think apparently they show that like in the most tasteful way possible, but he has it on his neck. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I remember that. There's video of that, like when it actually happened. I remember, like that's an old video I saw years ago, and that was that was in a device in a movie recently with
Saw.
No. I mean, yeah, I guess, but there was one with the pizza delivery. It had what's her name from Twilight and
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, I think it had Kristen Stewart, and I think it had Jesse Eisenberg in it as well. 30 minutes or less or something.
Oh,
is that what it's called? 30 minutes or less.
Okay.
It's Jesse Eisenberg and like Aziz Ansari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Maybe what's her face isn't in it. Kristen Stewart
and they have a
isn't in
bomb.
It. But yeah, he's the same thing where he's a
thinking.
pizza delivery driver. And he's got like a bomb on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, why'd you bring it up? Just like it's Evil Geniuses. It's like a.
I went out to dinner with a friend last night, and he recommended that I see it, and I knew that you would be interested in something because apparently it's a lot like making a murder.
Have you seen it yet? Did you watch Evil Genius?
No, I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
So I know a bit about that story, just because like it was such a weird story when it happened. Like I kind of kept up with it.
It seems like it's like some sort of like hive mind collective of criminals, and they couldn't quite decipher who did what. And yeah, I don't know anything. I don't want to get it spoiled, but it sounds like really interesting. It's one of those things where you could easily go to the Wikipedia page and look up all the stuff, how it broke down, but like I feel like it'd be a better story to hear.
Oh, we had a moment like that in the office in the design cave, and one of the guys in the office, Ari, we joke all the time because he's one of the younger designers, and also is one of these guys who just hasn't seen a lot of stuff, so we make references constantly, and Ari goes, I don't know what that is. And so Ari is just right now finally going through Game of Thrones. And he's only like 6 episodes into season 1. And we were talking about stuff in there and talking about like what he's watched so far and everything like that. And at one point it was me and Wes, and we couldn't remember the name of the dad Lannister, Tywin Lannister. And so we were like doing that thing. We're like, it's not Tormund. It's that kind of thing. We're trying to figure it out. At one point, Ari turns around and goes, let me Google real quick. And Wes screams out, no, do not Google anything Game of Thrones right now. You will literally get everything spoiled for you because you have not watched it.
Yeah.
And I realized that was the quickest thought he could have because, yes, if Ari had just Googled anything Game of Thrones.
Oh,
even autocomplete.
Yeah, autocomplete would have just spoiled something.
Well, the fucking worst is when you go to like a wikis page or something. I'll do this for like a comic book character or video game character. It'd be like date of birth, date of death. And I'd be like, no!
Well, what I hate is as I'm watching a series, I don't ever look at it on IMDb if I'm watching something for the first time because I don't want to know like
how many episodes
or like how many episodes the character was in.
I have to cover my screen when I look because I don't want to see how many episodes because
Right.
you can assume that they die soon.
Right. It's like, oh no, they were only in so many. It's like, fuck, I just ruined it. Screwed up.
Well, IMDb was doing this thing recently where they had a spoiler for Avengers in like a video, and it's just like shit like that. I don't get why people perpetuate spoilers. Like, did you see?
Okay, let's have this fucking discussion again because I saw someone in chat earlier was mad about it. When are spoilers for Infinity War okay?
Oh, I think by now, but I'm saying this was like week of the movie
what
had
they
not
said.
come
What
out
they said
yet.
in chat was that it hasn't been out a month yet. And I think a month is ridiculous.
A month is a long time.
Yeah.
For not talking about spoilers movie. I think
you also have to like capitalize on the popularity of it. And if you
I
don't-
think
yeah.
I would think, because movies come out Fridays, you can see them Thursday night. I think 2 weekends after the movie, you should be able to talk about it because that is 2 whole weekends. People have an opportunity to go see the movie because that's when people see movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's going to be the majority of the people that will see it the first weekend it's out. And then there's the people that's like, I could not make it to that or I did not go see it then. So I'll go see it the next weekend. After that weekend, that's got to be the end of like not being able to talk about
Your
stuff.
grace period.
Because it's like I'm on the side of like I hate spoilers. It's mainly why I go see most movies I want to see Thursday night, like literally before they come out and that kind of thing.
So at this point, Infinity War's been out for 3 weekends.
I would totally want to spoil it.
Okay, we're not doing that, but we could.
Dumbledore dies.
I didn't watch Harry Potter yet. My brain did this amazing thing. I tweeted out mistakenly. So at the beginning of God of War, this isn't a spoiler because it's like the very beginning. Dude's carrying a log. He's like walking around the forest with a log, and it reminded me of the beginning of Commando, where Schwarzenegger literally chops down a tree and carries the log. And I tweeted that out. I was like, oh, that's really funny. Like, what if I heard the steel drums from Commando? I'm really excited for this game. I'm like 5-10 minutes in, and some fucking asshole that didn't have the balls to put his own picture on his Twitter account tweeted at me a spoiler. And the only reason I know it was a spoiler is because I went back to read it after I'd beaten the game. But my brain did this amazing thing where he said, your wife, and like, I looked away from my phone. I looked away from it because I knew instinctively that this was some prick that was trying to spoil it for me. And sure enough, like he gave away the 2 biggest spoilers in the game. I don't know why somebody would do that. Like, I don't know.
Like a directly at you kind of message.
Yeah. It was just like, it was basically like if you're like, hey, I'm going to go see Harry Potter. And they're like, same kills, I just told you all the shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, just to fuck me over in some way. I don't often wish death on people, but yeah, I'm going to leave that sentence unfinished.
Jesus. Yeah, people, there's some people who are just assholes. I feel like I've been seeing more and more assholes driving. This is a part of the podcast where we're going to complain about people driving in Austin.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with everybody who drives in this goddamn city? Someone
It's pretty rough.
Someone started screaming at me and flipping me off and like rolled down his window at me the other day because I turned and I had the right of way.
Yeah. How dare.
Like I was in a turn lane, turning left into a business, and he was coming out, turning left also. So it was clear there wasn't any oncoming traffic. So I start turning left into the business, and he like starts trying to dart out, and it has to stop because I'm turning in. He like rolls down his windows, leaning out and flipping me off. And I did the thing where I looked around. I was like, "Ooh, who's he yelling at?" I was like, "Oh, it's me." I was like, "What? That doesn't make any sense."
I think that is a weekly occurrence that I get yelled at or honked at for doing something legal in the car.
I saw the other day, I saw someone, it wasn't me, I saw there was a person in front of me driving. They were going straight, and the lane to the left was a left turn lane.
Yeah.
But the person who was in the left turn lane wanted to go straight also. But the car that was in front of me wasn't letting them in. So the car that was wrong kept like swerving their car into the car that was just going straight, acting like they were going to hit them.
Oh.
I was like, what are you doing?
I was on the phone with Bernie when I was heading over to the animation studio, and it was the weirdest thing. I don't know why my brain did this, but I'm sitting there and I'm like in my car and I'm driving, and then up ahead I see this car stop as if it's trying to turn into, like, it realized that it was in a left turn only lane, and it did not want to go left. It wanted to go into the right turn lane. So it stopped before it could get there and was trying to like merge, and like have somebody, like, they were probably like waving at somebody to let them in. Suddenly the guy that's in the, straight lane just rammed the car and proceeded to like its tires were spinning and and it just drove this car into the into the side of the
traffic?
wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it just zoomed off. It was a hit and run, but it was an intentional hit and run. And while I was talking to Bernie, I didn't even break a beat. I was just talking about business. I was like, oh yeah, I think that'd be a good idea for him to be. Just like I saw this whole thing happen while maintaining this business call. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
Did you call the police?
No, I the two cars in front of me stopped, and I felt like that was sufficient enough that I didn't need to like, hey, you guys need help? It was fucked up. The other day I was merging onto a lane and the semi truck was still super far away, but they sped up to me as if I was going too slow, and they started honking, and then they passed me, and they were like, just like laying on their horn, and I didn't have any other reaction except for to honk my own horn and wave and go like, yeah. That guy was probably fucking furious.
Yeah.
People get so worked up and mad. Like I don't.
Wait, do you know who is pretty bad at road rage that works here?
Bernie.
No.
Does he work at
Someone
this
I've
office?
actually experienced worse than Bernie.
Does he work at this in Austin?
They work here.
Who?
Ashley.
Really?
Jenkins?
Ashley from here to like the theater where we go see some of the movies like for the screenings. Like those short trips, we'll just scream at probably like 8 people. Like she gets so upset. And she's even said herself, she's like, I get major. This is where my rage comes out. Like she's not a very ragey kind of person. She's like, this is where it comes out. But it's just funny to see, she's a smaller, person and that kind of thing. And just see this diminutive person just like screaming at people all on the road. It's fantastic.
She drives a monster though.
She drives a monster.
Louis C.K. had a bit about that years ago. It's like you say, people, when they get behind the wheel, will say the most awful things about another human being that you would never say to their face. And it's like, and in the end, all those people made you do is this.
Yes.
It's like, this is the result.
Yeah.
And then like you end up screaming awful things at people.
I was heading to a birthday party when I was a kid once, and my dad got cut off by this Jeep that I recognized. And he just starts fucking screaming. These dudes, my dad's big dude, this other guy's a big dude, just start fucking yelling at each other, honking horns, rolling down windows. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. We get to the birthday party. That car is there. It's one of my best friend's dad.
Yeah.
And they just had to be like, hey, sorry about that. So, no, it's no big deal. It was like the most uncomfortable shit ever.
So awkward. I love it.
That's awesome.
I did that to a friend once. The next day he came back to high school and he's like, hey, man, I didn't mean to piss you off on the road. Like, I went full on exorcist, like, because he cut me off. Yeah.
Blaine does this thing where if you just keep watching him when he's done with his story, he doesn't know how to peter out or to transfer to something else. He
just kind of shuts down.
Yeah, it's true. People call me out on that a lot on
He
Twitter.
puts this things in his mouth.
He does. He puts things in his mouth. Oh man.
So I should have talked about this earlier when we were talking about TV shows. But does anybody watch Atlanta? Am I the only one here who watches Atlanta?
I watched first 4 episodes.
But I'm there as well,
On
and,
the airplane?
it's on my list to finish.
Okay.
Because of what I've watched, I like. I'm really bad at like not finishing TV shows.
That show's really, really good. It's probably one of the best shows on TV.
Not even close to what I expected it to be.
Yeah, they just wrapped up season 2, and season
Yeah.
2 is radically different than season 1, but still awesome. So good.
That guy,
everyone should
Donald
watch
Glover's on fucking fire, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's like, I mean,
Have you guys talked about the music video on this podcast?
we talked about it a little bit last week. I hadn't seen it yet by that point, but I think I've watched it multiple times every day since then. Since when I finally did watch it, it's absolutely incredible. And to think, like, it's weird to me because, like, he's been around and people have known of him for, like, he was on Community forever, right? And even before that, we talked about this last
Writer
week.
on Conan.
Well, we saw his stuff on the internet. He used to do like Derek comedy stuff like years ago, and like he's always done. I mean, not always, but he's done like Childish Gambino stuff for a long time. And in fact, when we did I don't know if you guys were there when we went to the Titanfall launch party during South by Southwest here in Austin. Were you there?
I was gonna mention I met him once.
Yeah, he performed there.
I was in the bathroom in line and I was next up and I see this dude come up behind me and he's with an even bigger dude that's a security guard. He's like, hey man, you mind if I cut you? And I was like, who the hell is asking me? Oh my God, it's Donald Glover. Yeah, sure, go for it, man. Just let him
talked
take a
to
peek.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, and then he was washing his hands and I had nothing else to say of importance and I was so fucking stupid. I was like, I appreciate you washing your hands. What, Blaine? God damn it. Fuck.
You said that?
Fuck. Yes, I said it.
Hey, Donald Glover, do you remember that? He's a guy right there.
Well, I was like, hey, he washes his hands. He's just like us. He washes his hands. And I know he's going to be shaking a lot of hands tonight. I appreciate you washing your hands, Donald Glover. What do you
Oh
say?
my God, you are a gift to this world, Blaine Gibson.
I just want to cringe out of the seat. Why did I do that?
That's hilarious.
You bring up the music video, and actually brings up a question I recently was thinking to myself that I've never understood how this works with music videos. And not that that This Is America music video is about this, but music videos as a medium, what is their purpose and where is their profitability come from?
It's just to promote the album, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the song, selling it.
So then does there, where's the money like come?
I assume the label pays for it.
Okay. So I was listening again to that one podcast, and they had an interview with Jesse something. He was on the Amazing Race season with Bernie and Ashley. With
Ventura.
The
This stuff will
prankster
make you a
couple
sexual
YouTubers.
tyrannosaurus.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's a Predator
and he
reference
talks
for
about-
those keeping track at home.
Oh God, Blaine!
What? I'm talking about Predator. It's my birthday. Leave me alone. Thank you for washing your hands. Oh no.
Anyways, he talked about that he worked with Snoop Dogg on that Ronald Clump music video they made, and he says in the interview that him and Snoop Dogg split the cost of the music video, and he paid for half it, and then Snoop Dogg paid for half. So then, because he directed it also,
Okay.
and he like wrote it, the Jesse. So where does he get that money back?
Right. I don't know. I just always assumed it was the label who pays for music videos in order to promote album sales.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but then, like, aren't they some of them they're so expensive to make some of them that I would just wonder, like, where does that money come back? I don't know. I don't have the answer. It was a question I've always thought.
It's like, I mean, it just promotes, right? It presents a cool image. It's like, not only does it move album sales, but it's like, it puts you in a positive mindset for that artist, and you might want to see them in concert
Yes.
or maybe buy merchandise.
It's just promotion.
Right.
Yeah, if it's like a visual music video, then you're probably gonna want to go see them perform. And
Maybe back in the day when it was on TV, like the TV, like MTV would buy, distribution rights or
Well,
that kind of thing.
Well, now also they might have, money from YouTube views.
Yeah. But like a 10 million viewed or a 60 million viewed video on YouTube, would that upset the cost of like a Taylor Swift music video?
Yeah, I think that music videos typically pay out less because people don't watch them as actively. They don't really like put them on like on YouTube and then like tab away to something else.
Do you think when music videos started becoming a popular thing, like with MTV? I mean, there's a song about it, "Video Killed the Radio Star." Do you think like all the ugly artists were like, "Fuck, I'm so fucked right now"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a jarring experience when you have listened to someone's voice for a very long time and then get to see their picture for the first time. I had it when I looked up you guys for the first time because I had heard you guys
You're
for
like,
quite
"Oh, God."
a while.
Yeah. Throw the computer away.
Yeah. And you just, I don't know, it's impossible for your brain to not craft some sort of predisposed idea of what you might look like when you hear like a radio person or something like that. And then when you see them, or like same thing has happened when I've met online friends for the first time that I never saw. It's just jarring because it's almost like that. It's a miniature experience of like what you see those people who like have are missing like a sense and then get it for the first time and them having to like come to terms with how that marries with the sense they already had. I think it's like the same thing where you have to like, all right, so that voice is coming out of that mouth now.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's normal.
This will now replace the mental image that I had.
Yeah.
I had a community member come up to me and she was like, "Just so you know, you're the only Rooster Teeth person that I know who they look like." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And she's like, "I've been a Rooster Teeth, like a Red versus Blue fan for years. I don't want to know what Sarge, Griff, Caboose, any of those guys look like." And I was like, "What? Okay." And I was like, "Do you want me to like point them out?" And she's like, No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know." And I was like, "Okay." And she like walked off. It was like the weirdest thing. Like,
how interesting.
She didn't want to know what you looked like, Gus. She didn't know what
I don't blame her,
Simmons
really. I
looked
think most people shouldn't be subjected to that. But I got distracted, so I went back to talk about something. I ended up talking about Atlanta instead. But we didn't talk about how Rick and Morty got renewed for 70 episodes.
Yeah, how's that work?
I thought that they were on the outs.
No, all they had said was that they hadn't been renewed.
They were on the outs, yeah.
I heard that they were going through a personal thing. Like something was going on between those two or something.
Between Roiland and Harmon.
Which I don't want that. Like, I fucking love those guys, but yeah.
I think the rumors that they had some creative differences during season 4, the most recent stuff, and that's why it was delayed. That they had to try to hammer out some stuff.
I'm going.
I mean, that's just
70 episodes. Did anybody specify if that's like a season?
No, they didn't. They did not specify anything beyond that.
That's animation.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of animation.
I mean, yeah, I really love Rick and Morty, but that's one of those things that I'm actually not I'm not proud to talk about super publicly, because I think the Rick and Morty fan base is kind of one of the most toxic ones.
There was a portion of the fan base that did create a lot of toxicity. I don't think they were the entire
not all of
fan
them. I don't
base.
want to broad sweep.
Yeah.
But
No, well,
like,
you gotta continue to be a good example of
But you're part of the
fandom.
fan base.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm part of the fan base. I loved it and it didn't have any of that.
well, but I hate you though.
I didn't
and I hate
burn down a
myself.
McDonald's.
So I'm saying like I don't like the Rick and Morty fan base because it's people like us, and I don't like us.
I'm not gonna be near you at the gym. Okay, you be on your side. I'm gonna be on my side. Okay.
Oh, we're going to the gym. You want to go to the gym with us later, Gus?
No.
There's
It's my
no way in
birthday
hell.
wish.
Gus would
Gus is
ever
my
go to the
birthday
gym with us.
wish.
Have I ever been in a gym?
Gus, I can get you in for free. It's my birthday wish.
I don't
Gus.
know.
It's my birthday.
No,
wish.
no. It's my lifelong wish to not do that. How about that? I pull seniority on you.
I think Gus is stubborn enough that if that was your birthday wish every year, he would make his birthday wish every year to not have to do it with you.
Or like watch me eat a Gordo's donut or something like that.
That sounds pretty awesome.
To watch Blaine eat a Gordo's
Yeah,
donut.
can I film it? Just for personal research purposes?
That's what I'm putting on the internet.
That'd be fun.
That's the thing, right? Like people are into watching.
You
Like,
did it.
but I mean, like a fetish thing.
Yeah.
When I did it, it wasn't a fetish thing.
Right. But you
That
don't
you
know if
know
people
of.
watching you were not experiencing their fetish.
You're making me rethink my entire project.
Was
now.
that just like a thing that you just
Just
you
fun.
wanted?
Just wanted to see if it took off. If people
This is
were
perfect
interested in it.
because this is allowing me to segue to a question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Which is, Gus, how are you at home with your wife? Like what is your interaction?
That's a personal question.
It is a personal
what do you
question.
mean?
Like, what is your guys' dynamic when you're at home? Because I consider you a very interesting and quirky person, and even your wife I've kind of garnered as that as well. So like, what's your guys' like rhythm at home? Are you guys just like, you get home and you just guys watch a show together? Do you
Cut
guys go to
to
your own
a
places?
BDSM leather cave.
No, I mean, yeah, like it's a lot of shared interest as far as like media and internet stuff. I mean,
Gotcha.
we spend a lot of time. It sounds weird to say, but we spend a lot of time, looking for stuff online to make each other laugh.
Okay.
Like it's like almost like trying to one up each other.
So you guys
like,
send each other like memes you find on Reddit or stuff like that, or funny pictures you
right,
find
yeah,
on Twitter and that kind of thing.
or like recontextualize stuff.
She doesn't game.
No,
Does she watch you game? Does she care for you?
no,
gaming?
not really. No.
So
What
when
if
you
has
game,
she
what
like watched you play any like really narrative stories?
Yeah, she really enjoyed watching me play the Walking Dead series.
That's a
the
while
Telltale.
ago.
Okay.
So when you're gaming, what does she do?
She's using the internet or
Cool. So you
other
get-
stuff, watching TV, whatever.
Okay. Not that like couples like at all have to be constantly like around each other. I mean, whenever
Yeah.
riots in town, we spend a good amount of time together, but then we also like we need our separation
Yeah.
time because we're very independent.
It's also
people.
different when you're
She's
like
in town.
when you have like limited time with someone.
She's not in town.
Well, no, I'm saying you have separation time when she's in town.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of actually had this conversation at the end of this last trip she was here, where she was here for about like 10 days, and then
It's a pretty good amount of time.
It's a pretty good amount of time, and we had this funny conversation over one of our last meals that we had at the house together, where I turned to her and I was like, I wanted to talk to her about something, and this we have these conversations once in a while where we just kind of have to talk about our relationship a little bit, and I told her, I was like, I'm really sad you have to go home to London. I said, but I'm very glad I get to have my regular rhythm of my life back, because when she's here, basically we have two modes. Either we don't see each other at all because she lives in London, or when she's here, we are then
see each other constantly.
We are then forced to be roommates without any other option. And we are both two very independent people. We are both people who need, not just but we need our alone time. We need also our space that is ours that we've created. I think mine is my apartment that I live by myself. Hers is she lives with siblings, but she has her own space in her room and her like workshop and everything like that. And so we both realized that after like a few days of having to like be around each other all day long, because I took a few days off when she first came this last time, and so we were just like hanging out. We both we need to you need to go over there, and then I need to go over there, and we're okay with that. We're not mad at each other.
Yeah.
We just I'm gonna put my headphones on, you're gonna put your headphones on, and we're fine.
Yeah. I mean, Alana and I will still, I know what you mean with the whole distance relationship thing, but like we'll be in the same room, but she'll be like working or reading something. I'll be playing like video games.
Right. And that helps. And like we do that. Like there was plenty of times where she would be on her laptop watching like a hockey game or something, and then I'd be on my computer playing a video game, and we're not interacting with each
You have
other
to
at
be
all.
actively engaged with each
But
other.
there's even a certain amount of getting to like know that you're going to go to your room or your house.
I mean, that's like a healthy progression for, I think, just about any relationship. You got to have you got to be comfortable having your own time as well to recharge.
And we need like a lot of it, more than probably I think most couples, like as far as like in comparison to previous relationships I had, like we like but we respect that, and it's totally it's just our thing. And it was one of those conversations where I brought that up and she went, yeah, me too, actually. Like it was one of the things you worry that the person's gonna take offense to the fact, like I'm glad you're leaving, that kind of thing. But it wasn't that.
They're totally on board. Yeah.
Just realized it's you and me on the podcast. It's the end of the fucking podcast though, and we didn't tell the story about. But I don't want to tell it in the post show.
My divorce.
You want to tell a story?
Do we have time for it now?
Sure, why not? We'll go a little long.
Okay, so we've teased the story about that. Blaine is part of my divorce.
Yes,
Blaine is
official capacity.
Blaine is a formal part of my divorce.
Ooh, I don't know this story.
Yeah, no one. A lot of people in the company know it. That I've shared this story because I shared my divorce story with a lot of people. But so this thing happened when I was going through my divorce when we were fighting over custody of the kids, and so we're both coming up with reasons why we should have what we're asking for on our side of the divorce. And during that whole process, lawyers will often get as much information as possible from you, and then the other lawyer might also request information from you or bring up what they'll divulge what their case is, and then you have to kind of respond to it. So I go to my lawyer one day and have a meeting, and she tells me all the stuff that she needs to get from me, and we had a good meeting, and then I left, and I got a phone call from my lawyer after I left. And on the phone call, she goes, "Oh, I forgot to ask you for something. I need you to give me all of your social media." And I was like,
"What does that mean?"
Well, she said, I need you to give me your all of your social media. And I was like, "Okay." So my brain went, "What does that mean?" And I went, "Okay, I know you can download certain social media and give it. Like I know there's a Twitter download. You can archive all of your Twitter."
Facebook has it too.
So I told her, I was like, "Okay, I can download my Twitter. I use Tumblr, but I don't know how to give you that." And I said, and that's about it. And I was like, "I don't have a Facebook account because I deleted it when I left California. So I don't have that." And she went, "You don't have a Facebook account?" And I said, "No." And she's like, "Okay." Which I assumed she thought was odd because it's just weird not to have a Facebook account, especially this is like 3 years ago.
Wasn't she like, though, like, are you being completely honest with me right now?
She just went like, "Huh." And I was like, "Okay, go. You give me what you can and we'll be good." So then we had a meeting like just a few days later, and we talked about a bunch of stuff. And then she's like, "Well, I need to talk about one more thing that was why I asked you about your social media." And she said, "So you say you don't have a Facebook account." I was like, "No." And she's like, "So because of some social media stuff that your ex found, she's under the impression that you did not move here to work at Rooster Teeth. You moved here because of a previous relationship, and or want to stay here because of a relationship you're in, not because you want your kids or you want your job or anything like that." And I went,
because of a lover.
Don't know how that works. And so my brain immediately went to how often we make very amorous jokes in the office, even years ago, like funny jokes about each other and that kind of thing on Twitter. And so I explained to her that's what we did. And she's like, "Yeah, okay, well, we just need to like make a case of what's going on and we'll figure it out." And I was like, "Cool." So then weeks go by, and I finally like have a conversation with my ex about a few things, and I decided to bring this up. And I bring up like, what is going on with this accusation? So my ex tells me that she found on the internet a Facebook account that had my face and all my information. That's the basic information you could put in there. And it said I was in a relationship. Who was that in a relationship with, Gus?
Birthday boy?
So for the audio listeners, it is me.
It's Blaine. So the Facebook account said I was in a relationship with Blaine, had all these pictures of me and him and everything like that.
Just a clarification, this was clearly a fan account. It was a fan-made account.
This is how the conversation went. She said the Facebook account had all this stuff, had all this information from you, and then she's like, and then I found these stories that people wrote about you doing things to like your coworkers and, and these encounters. At this point, I was having the conversation in the parking lot here, and I was like way out behind the bungalow. And if someone was out there, they would have heard someone scream, "That's fan fiction." Like just off in the distance, someone screaming that. And so she's like, "I didn't know what that is. And I saw this stuff and I was freaking out. And I thought that it was like you were like having a relationship and that's why you're doing this." I was like, I'm not fucking Blaine. And I've never have. Not going to say we never are, but
oh no.
So, I asked her, okay, so now that do you believe me that this is not the thing? And she's like, yes, I believe you. I was like, well, then tell your fucking lawyer to take it off our case, because if it's not off the case, we have to defend it.
Yeah.
Because if it's there, we have to make a defense for it.
Wow.
Weeks went by. That's not how the story ends.
Oh my God.
Weeks went by, and it got close to our court date.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept asking, have you taken this off yet? Because it's not off the case yet. We have not removed it from the documents. And they're like, yeah, he's going to do it. And my lawyer's going to do it. Leading all the way up to right before the case. And so I was left with no choice but defending myself. And I was asked by my lawyer that I had to bring Blaine to the court as a witness.
So then one day I get a text message and John's basically like, hey, kind of awkward.
I was so embarrassed.
I need you to come and testify as a character witness that we are not in a gay romance together. And I was like, good one, John. And then he was like, no. And then he laid out the story as he just told you. And so, yeah, I was
luckily
for
for me, I was so embarrassed for it. Once I explained it, Blaine was like, hell yeah, I'll come to your court.
So then the night before the case, I'm in my closet. No, phrasing.
I'm very loud.
I'm standing in front of my closet looking at all my clothes. And I'm like, how do I dress that says that I'm not in a gay romance with my friend John? So I'm trying to pick the straightest clothes, but everything I have is like athletic cut, like super tight fitting. I've got a pair of pink pants, like everything's skinny fit. And I was like, oh my God, John's going down. Oh no.
The story ends very sadly because.
Well, no, we go to the court the next day.
The story ends very sadly because we go to the court, we show up.
I get sworn in. Everybody gets sworn in.
Well, we all get sworn in, and actually Emily McBride, our former e-commerce, she was there also to testify like what I did at the office and everything like that.
That we were indeed not fucking at the office.
And so we go into the courtroom and everything like that. Everyone gets sworn and everything like that. We're up in the front, and then all the witnesses are in the back and everything like that. And up front, my lawyer brings up this part of the case and brings up that we were told this was not going to be part of the case. Is it part of the case or not?
And I'm like,
Blaine is getting so anxious. He's ready to just spill the beans at how fucking straight he is. And
I brought dumbbells to Exhibit A.
That is not
what does that mean?
Yeah, because gay guys don't work out.
Oh, good point. They work out more than I do, probably. Exhibit A, what is straight porn.
So at that point, that and only then is when her lawyer says, no, this is not part of our case. So Blaine was sadly dismissed and was not called upon to witness in my divorce.
I had to take the day off of work and everything.
Yeah.
I parked downtown. I had to pay for parking.
And expressed to me after the court that even I won and the court, the divorce ended fine, everything like that. But that Blaine was really sad that he could not testify in my divorce and was not actually part of the actual hearing.
I got sworn in. I was at the.
You did get sworn in. You were sworn into my divorce case.
Also, I feel like you brought us closer together, John.
It did.
Brought us closer together.
It did.
It's good times.
Don't hold hands. Careful.
Yeah. Well, the papers are done. Now I can have sex with him.
Okay.
So we're good. So that's the show, folks. John and I are going to go have birthday sex. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.